Hello, good afternoon, welcome to the canal. I'm about to start a session that will take me up to dark. Nothing unusual in that, of course. However, I am on a new section, so my rod's already made up. I'm fishing with a float and I've put one of those on before I actually start to fish proper. I've mentioned them recently. That's a plummet, and I'll show you how it works. You set your float up and you put your two shot on at the top, or rubbers if you want, just to give yourself a bit of an idea of what depth it is. It's the canal, so I already have that knowledge anyway. It's cut out by hand, dug out by hand all those years ago, so a lot of uniformity, but you still want to get it right. You poke or put your hook through the top and then hook it into the cork so it sinks to the bottom, and as it sinks it takes your float down, and your float will either be over depth or you need to add a bit more. But what you do is you then work out, plummet around the swim a few times, and you work out what depth you've got in front of you and where to fish. So that's a very, very useful piece of kit, very cheap but essential if you are to do some successful float fishing, and I certainly hope my session this afternoon is successful. It may be a new spot. I've cast out, put some brown crumb and maggots out there. Some things never change though. A cup of tea. And I wonder what my first fish will be. I'm going to go for a perch, and I've put a red maggot on as well this time, although I've been doing okay with white maggots. And the reason I've been using them recently is because they were more succulent looking. They were bigger and juicier than the red maggots that I had as part of a mixed. A couple of pints of mixed is what I asked for in the tackle shop, but the white certainly stood out. I've got a red on there now though. So perch for me, that's my prediction for my opening fish. My debut fish on this particular outing. It's very energetic. Gudgeon. Far from complaining though. It's great to see just how much the gudgeon has taken over the Staffordshire-Worcestershire Canal in recent years, certainly in many stretches anyway. Latest couple of comments on my website, Paul Huxtable moved from Wales to Staffordshire, where I am right now. It's my county of birth as well. And he's discovered the Midlands canals, a little bit further north from the Black Country, which of course is where there's a concentration of the local canals in the Birmingham and the Black Country area. And he's certainly enjoying himself as well. One or two nice perch coming out, which is always great to see. And Declan, who also fishes canals, well, he's going to get onto the canals a little bit more. He said he likes the idea of sitting down with a chair and watching your rod and a flask of tea. He's also a lure angler, and I'll be doing some lure fishing shortly as well, as the net has been widened from tomorrow, Monday, when we can spread our wings further afield. I'll certainly be taking advantage of that, although I won't be neglecting my local canal and my local venues, because ultimately I do have a full-time job. I didn't fish yesterday, Saturday. I was out fairly early in the morning, didn't get back till late in the evening, and then I had some work to do as well. I was in Flint for a game, so obviously not just traveling there for the match itself, but lots of stuff going on before and afterwards. So I've got a full-time job. I'm working through a lot of stuff at home at the moment. We moved the end of last year, so still a lot of things to be done there, getting the garden done and all the other stuff that you do, that you make yourself busy with. Busy but blessed is how I often describe the way to be. As long as I can get my fishing in though, I'm happy, but I can't travel every day on a long distance. So the local area suits me fine. That gudgeon, I had to wait about 20 minutes for that one. I'm hoping though that now I've caught that fish, that there'll be more to follow. Not just gudgeon, but perch. My favourite species. Well, this isn't a gudgeon, unless it's a British record. I'm about to net it. It's a small bream. I'll be back in a moment with the fish in question. And here it is. I've had a few small gudgeons so far. This naturally is the biggest fish of the session at this moment in time. Will I catch more though? Let's see. I've just had a pull, can't call it a hook pull, I'll tell you why in a moment, on what felt like a really nice perch. It came back with a scale on there. So I have the suspicion, naturally, that it was foul hooked. However, it was a good fish. Sometimes when you hook a fish and it's not in the mouth, you catch the tail or one of the fins, it does fight above its weight. You think you've got a monster on, but in effect you haven't. But on that particular fish there, definitely a good perch. The bad news is, I didn't net it. The good news, that this is a good spot, because I've encountered that one fish so far, and I've still got 45 minutes or so left, so I could catch another one, couldn't I? It's a roach this time. Small gudgeon, one bream and a roach. I don't show every fish, especially the smaller ones. My second bream though is significantly bigger than the first one. Still small though, especially when you compare them to those monsters from the gravel pits, which I hope to do business with in due course.